new chapter, the start of the beginning of something amazing. And it's not just think it, it's believe it. Put my emotions into it. And like I said, I keep saying like I said without actually saying it. So yeah, like I said. All right, what is happening, everybody? This is the Somebody Like You podcast, formerly known as the Respectfully Selfish podcast. And this introductory podcast is going to be a little bit about the change, a little bit about, where I'm at, a little bit about, why the change and why now, because it's been about, oh man, I don't know, almost a year since my old podcast. But so a little bit about what's been happening is I decided to go from respectfully selfish to somebody like you because I kind of feel that's my niche. I kind of feel like, I'm just the average person, trying to figure it out, trying to get through life. And respectfully selfish is more geared towards almost trying to help navigate people through a specific tough time in their life. Mine was really the thing that kind of drove it was a toxic previous relationship, and I think since then I've definitely gotten through that, forgiven, and I'm grateful it happened. So it was almost like I didn't have that driving force behind it anymore. I didn't have like that raw emotion to get through, and I don't want to say preach because I was trying to make it like a community, but it just didn't feel authentic anymore because I wasn't feeling that way. And since then, I've kind of been able to realize that somebody like you makes that common connection. It makes me like, I want it to feel like, I'm no different than you. You're no different from me. We all go through things, whether they're the same or they're different. So that's what this is about. That's what this whole new journey is about. We're still figuring it out. I haven't done any of the designs, haven't done any of the sketches, haven't done, like I said, any of the branding. So this is just kind of like the turn on the mic, see what comes out, and just kind of the hello back into the world kind of thing. So I'm going to dust off the rust, if that's what you do with rust, and just kind of get into it. In the past year, a lot of things have happened. I am newly engaged, which I am so excited about. I've also gone through a lot of ups, a lot of downs, tough times, good times, bad times, if you're a Led Zeppelin fan. But that's kind of the stuff I want to share with you. That's the kind of stuff I want to go through, is celebrate the good times and work through the bad times. And some of the bad, or I shouldn't even say bad, some of the lessons I've been learning is I've been a huge advocate for mental health and, anxiety, depression, and kind of just that world. But I've been diagnosed with panic disorder, and that is something, I've heard of panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and all that stuff. But I don't think I knew it until I knew it. Like it got intense, and it got intense quick. So a little bit of story time is me and my now fiance. We're out to dinner one night, and like I said, this is I'm like you, you're like me thing. So I'm going to be truthful all the way through here. We smoked a joint on the way over there, and I'm no new kid on the block when it comes to smoking some of the green stuff. So we got there, and I was kind of on edge for weeks leading up to this, and we almost saw like a car accident on the way there, and like literally right behind us, this car almost just on 95. If you live in Florida on the East Coast, 95, it sucks. And so I get to this beautiful place, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm gonna pass out. So I'm like, I must be dehydrated, I must be nervous, we're coming out of quarantine, we're coming out of a pandemic here. And, like kind of reintroducing yourself to the world is kind of unfamiliar. And you're like, oh, am I just being weird because I haven't been surrounded by a group of people in, I don't know, a year. But then some strange things started happening. I started losing feeling in my face, and like I mean like completely numb. All of my limbs went numb, and my chest was just pounding out of my heart was pounding out of my chest was pounding out of my heart. Um, Sounds like a cheesy pickup line. My chest was pounding out of my heart with the day I met you. um, but it was scary. Like my fiance didn't know what to do. She was like, "Are you okay?" And you know me trying to be like macho man. I'm like, "I'm good. I'm straight. Just give me some water and give me some water quick." Um, and dinner came. I can't remember what I got. Like everything was a complete blur. I was just trying to focus on the basketball games that were on the big screen. I was trying to focus on really anything that was not bodily numbing. Um, and talk about awkward interactions with like the waitresses and stuff like that. I just couldn't. I thought I was dying. And when I say I thought I was dying, there was no way I was leaving this restaurant if it wasn't on a stretcher. If you suffer from panic attacks, you 100% know what I mean. Is especially your first like major one. I was having a heart attack. I was completely convinced of it, and yeah, like I said, I was numb, completely body numb, everything, except for my pounding chest. And all of a sudden, we get in the car, we go home. It was just terrible. So that is something that has happened since respectfully selfish has ended. So definitely not a lack of things to communicate with you guys with. But with that, a lot of lessons, I'm talking self-reflection, a lot of changes. It's almost like I jumped from one timeline of my life and just straight into another one. And it was just fast, quick. I had to learn quick. I had to adapt. I'm trying to maintain relationships with people, friendships, coworkers, still, do what I do for a living. And since then, I became a social media manager for a couple of places, taking on some new clients and doing some new things, doing logo designs. So all really exciting stuff, but in the midst of that, it felt like my life was literally ending. So how do you balance that? How do you figure this out as you're figuring everything else out? And I think that's kind of where, this whole idea came from, was somebody like you. I am just somebody like you, whether it's anxiety, depression, panic, grief of loss of loved ones, toxic relationships, abusive relationships. I just want to be an advocate for the common person who's going through it and figuring it out. You can ask anyone in my family. That is my go-to line. I'll figure it out. I'm figuring it out. I'm in the process. I'm figuring it out. And I kind of love to say that now. I enjoy it because figuring it out is such a good thing. It means you're not quitting. It means you're willing to figure it out. It means you're willing to get through it. And with that, I've almost rekindled like such healthy relationships with family members. Myself is the big one. I might lose some people here. I hope not. It took me on a spiritual journey. So if that is your cup of tea, that's something I've really been getting into recently. Because I never identified as anything, the whole what's your purpose kind of thing. I didn't have that. It was just trying to survive in a society that taught you have to survive and everything is really hard, but they never gave you, the reason why. And that was always my thing. I don't have a reason why. I don't know what I'm doing this for. I always said I want to help. I want to help. I want to help. So I finally almost was able to kind of hone in a little bit and decide the niche I want to fit myself into here, and that's somebody just like you, Sly. That's so if you see me on Sly Social, I have a music account now that's Sly Music because I'm trying to pursue other hobbies, passions of mine. So Sly Social, that's what this is. Sly Social is somebody like you, and in a social setting. I want it to be a community. I want it to be, a place where people are like, holy shit, dude, I feel that. Or you see someone in the comments that's going through it, and you have experience, and you have a helping hand. You want to lend your experience to somebody to hopefully help them get through it. That's what I want this to be. is just somebody like you. Respectfully selfish was more like talking to you, talking. I almost felt like sometimes I was talking at people. Realistically, I was like talking at my past self. So this is more, I want to like share with you what's going on, my mindset, what's happening, instead of telling you like what you need to be doing. So this is my, like, I don't say coming out party, but this is kind of cool. Like I said, nothing planned. I was like, you know what, this feels so right. I'm just going to turn on the systems. I don't think I've ever really used OBS that much, maybe towards the end of the old podcast, but I just turned it on. I was like, oh, just press record. You're going to figure out something to say. You're just going to be you. And that's, like I said, that's what I want this to be. So, past year, going through some ups and downs, like I said, panic attacks, engagements, spiritual journeys. I don't know if I want to dive into the spiritual journey just yet, because that's like a whole journey in itself. A whole podcast could be dedicated to that. But the things that it's been teaching me is I need to be more patient with myself. I need to be more patient with others. The big one, I don't know if anyone's going to take anything from this, is the whole, whether you're religious, you're not, it's the do unto others as you would have done to yourself. Paraphrasing. Don't know the Bible word for word. But like I said, that spiritual journeys kind of taught me that how you treat others is a reflection of how you're treating yourself, because we're all one consciousness, we are all one. And you've kind of heard that growing up and stuff like that. It never really clicked until now for me. And I'm realizing that when I'm getting short with people, or when I'm getting really aggravated with people, that mindset of I'm treating you how I'm treating myself was like scary accurate. The worse I was treating people is when I was treating myself terribly. I wasn't taking care of my mental health, physical health, emotional health. I wasn't addressing it. So when I didn't find myself being that person to lend a helping hand to someone in need, it's because I wasn't lending a helping hand to myself when I was in need. And I know it's like meta, right? But since that revelation, I don't know if I ever use that word right. Since that thought, it's been a game changer. I find myself treating people better. I find myself treating myself better, communicating better. Instead of trying to be a people pleaser, I'm honest, and I'm okay with, the reactions. I'm okay with, people not agreeing with me, because another big thing that has come from this is, different realities. Like what your reality is different from my reality. Your experiences have shaped your reality. My experiences and the things I focus on have shaped my reality. So to think that somebody can see from the exact same place I'm coming from and believe the same exact things that I believe or see is almost kind of dumb. Plain and simple. It's kind of dumb to think everyone should see it your way. So I've been really working on accepting other people's viewpoints and not feeling obligated to make them think the same way. There's no such thing as right and wrong. What is right to you might be wrong to me because of my situations and circumstances and my reality that has gotten me to this point to think otherwise. And I like to think, like I said, you are me and I am you. I like to think that about you as well. The things that have shaped you and created you to be this way and think this way is your reality. So that, of course, is going to be right for you. If you see me looking back and forth, it's because I have my other screen up here. And I find myself trying to gauge if there's lag or not. So just bear with me. Like I said, it's a dry run here. Consider yourself the beta testers. And if this was an NFT, you'd be in on the ground floor. NFTs, that's a whole different one. But yeah, so that's something I've really been trying to work on, is seeing things from my perspective and understanding that other people have different viewpoints, differing viewpoints, where I don't hold the obligation to make them see it from my point of view. So, like I said, that journey of, spirituality, self development, emotional development, physical development, all that stuff, it's been super cool because I feel like, I've grown so much since Respectfully Selfish, because at that time, it's in the name, I was being respectfully selfish. I was trying to be able to tell people no, but in a nice kind of way, because like, hey, this is what I want to do because I need to take care of myself. So it was almost going from being the people pleaser that I tend to be sometimes to the selfish ass that I also tend to be sometimes. And like everything, I'll always say the answer is usually right in the middle. So this has been like, the work of trying to find the middle ground for it. And I think, I'm finally dipping my feet into the right temperature water. I'm finally, swimming where I want to be swimming. I'm on, as I keep saying to the people around me, is I'm on the right track now. I'm just kind of jumping onto different trains. Is that the right? Carriages? You get the analogy, metaphor. Sorry, English teachers, I don't remember the difference. If only I had a computer that could tell me the difference quickly. Oh, you can. You want to see what I'm seeing? Meta. I gave away my secret. But no, so that is like the development I think I came from over the past year. And, we no longer say 2020. The pandemic feels like, it's not over. There's a whole other things people can address. And we will touch that on a different day. Not today. Today is a good day. Today is like I said, rebranding, the introduction to what I'm looking to accomplish, looking to communicate. I'm going to be so honest on my journey that, like I said, it's my journey. It's somebody like you. So coming from that place of love, gratitude, and understanding, I'm going to hope I can educate, pass on the things that have been educated to me for you to interpret your way. So maybe things have hit me differently and you'll take them and run with them in your own way. And I hope that's the case. I don't, this isn't a cult. I don't want someone to think like, we have to think, the respectfully selfish way like that. That's kind of what that started to feel like. It wasn't authentic. It was like trying to get people to think the same way I was thinking and doing the same things I was doing. And like I said, I really came to a place of gratitude and thankfulness for the way things happened. I wished that person nothing but love and happiness and gratitude for the things that happened. I was just, once I hit that point and it felt like that weight was lifted off my shoulders and kind of opened the gate to, this new journey. Being the common person and identifying with them, so we don't have to feel like we have to be a celebrity or bust. Like that's not it. I think the internet is such a cool place that you can do this. You can literally press record, jump on a microphone, and maybe people will resonate with the things you say. And it only takes one. It only takes one person listening to possibly save a life or to change a viewpoint or give that special person a boost to have the courage to do what they want to do. That's what we're here for. Common person. I want this to feel like a chat room, an AOL chat room. Maybe I'll get on, what's that? Clubhouse. Clubhouse is big now too, so maybe we get on that. I don't know. A lot of figuring out. I think some, if not all, can relate to, you always feel like you're in a constant state of learning. So, like I said, Clubhouse, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, trying to get stuff out there. It's just, I'm always learning. I'm always trying to figure out new things, design new things, meet new people, get involved in different groups. That's what I'm here to do. So I want you to identify with that. And I'm trying to work on a way to portray that as, just relatable. We all have shitty days, good days. We're all on different journeys, taking different paths. We're not from the same parents. Like I said, we're all one. But we're all one in different places, different, our own journeys and stuff like that. And that's something that I think is just massive to understand. Um, so whether, you know, you're in the best place of your life, I can identify with that. You know, like I said, newly engaged to the woman the woman I told I will never get married. Not to her. I just said marriage was not something I wanted. And, you know, that changed quickly. Almost within 2 months of us talking. I saved a screenshot. I don't think she knows this, but I'm going to share it to the world. Or the 6 people that are probably family members that are going to watch this. Saved it. And I said, it was a gift from New Girl. I was like, girl, I'm going to marry you. And like, now I'm here. Talk that shit into existence. I didn't even know it. I've been working on too how I talk to myself, self-talk. And it used to be talking about like, you gotta be positive, you gotta tell yourself this. No, it's just, I'm on the school of thinking now that everything you think can become a reality. So be careful what you think, be careful what you say. Speak as if though it's going to become true, and think the same way. So it's no longer thinking what if, it's putting myself in the situation and thinking of when it will be. Like, I'm going to help people. I'm going to identify or have people identify as the common person and figuring it out. And that is a reality that is now in motion. It's no longer, I hope this works out. I wish this is going to be a reality. No, it's act as if it already is, because somewhere else in a different parallel universe or whatever, it is a reality. That version of me does exist. I'm just currently trying to connect with that person, with that me. So it's almost trying to like weld them together, like, you know, try to pick where they are and just be like, hey, here we go. Now we're one. So think about that. Ask yourself those questions. You know, like, what is something you've been like constantly thinking and thinking? It's like a reality. For me, it was the panic. I could not stop thinking about panic. In turn, panic ensued. I then sought out help. Now I'm in therapy. I'm on that, you know, road to recovery. I'm on my road to just, you know, becoming my best self, the version of myself I want. I'm finding the things that ground me, and big for me is family. You know, that's something, you know, living currently down in Florida with my family up in Pennsylvania and Colorado, like, being that far away, I didn't know until, you know, I've gone through this stuff and visiting home, that is an extreme grounding mechanism for me. Is when I'm there, I didn't worry about anything. I was home. I was safe. So now, you know, it's making those adaptions and living your life and being okay with change. Being like, hey, this place and time served its purpose for getting engaged to the love of my life, right? The next chapter is not going to erase that chapter. It's going to be the start of the new chapter, which can be scary. But I'm not looking at it that way. I'm looking at it, like I said, talk it into reality. It's going to be a new chapter, the start of the beginning of something amazing. And it's not just think it, it's believe it. Put my emotions into it. And like I said, I keep saying like I said without actually saying it. So, yeah. Like I said, I envision I'm like doing visualization practices, putting myself in those situations and feeling the emotions of being there and succeeding. Athletes do that. So why can't you do that in your own life, right? So putting that into practice. All of these things, man, like I said, so changing from respectfully selfish to somebody like you is bridging. It's almost like trying to find that person who's existing in a different universe and melding them with that other person. It's doing the same thing with respectfully selfish. It's just meeting in that middle. I had to be respectfully selfish to end up like somebody like you. I still got it, guys and gals. I still have the cliches. They pop up. people that call them downloads or whatever. No, they feel right at the moment. So yeah, I had to become respectfully selfish in order to become somebody like you. That sounds like a song. Somebody like you or someone like you is an Adele song, so maybe that's it. Um, but just like that, we get 24 minutes in, and it's good to be back. Thank you for everyone who's encouraged me to talk about mental health, encouraged me to talk about these kind of things, talk to me, or inspired me, and just thank you for being you. Thank you for helping me become me, because I think we, as a collective, are going to figure this out. And once we do, it's time to figure out the next thing. So I don't have any catchy sign-off phrases. I think my old one was, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being a good neighbor. I don't know. State Farm is there. This is not, as you probably can tell by now, not sponsored by State Farm. So I'm going to work on a catchphrase, sign-off, maybe. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe I'll just like randomly end things.